And we're live again.
Peace, peace, Asad.
Salam. Let's let's do what we normally do. I'll check if we're streaming by putting this link up, and if anybody wants to join, they can use this link to come on board and see what you can do in in discussing what the Quran actually is saying or not. So last week we did chapter.
24, I think.
No,
No.
not 24. We did chapter 62,
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's correct.
togetherness.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so today, someone requested to read a part of chapter 30, the Romans. So we'll go over that initially, and then we'll see what time is left for Q&A, or we can go over some other signs if we have time. Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
So let me bring this chapter up. Okay. So chapter 30 is titled The Romans, and this is about the Romans that are still on the earth, that are established in the Vatican today, the head of them, calling themselves the Catholic Church, while they are actually the remnants of the Romans that are still ruling the so-called Christians, most of them, not all. The Orthodox are on the other side, and the Protestants, but the Catholic are by and large the most significant of the of the Romans, and those who are under their control. And they've put up this monstrous Pope, a Satan, to control them and take all their wealth and molest their children. That's their fundamental act. I heard a news article the other day that they want to settle 1,100 odd um, cases of abuse, child abuse. They want to settle them. I don't know how, out of court or whatever, giving money or however. Their own money they give back. Yeah, I mean, they take 100. If they take 100, oh, we molested these many children. Oh, let's give back 20 to them. Yeah. They still have 80 of your dollars, $100. Yeah.
Yeah.
These people don't understand how it works.
No.
Their clergy is stealing them silly. They're absolutely robbing them, and they pretend that because you give to your clergy, somehow you purify yourselves, or you give them money to build mosques or churches or synagogues or temples that are supposed to um, purify you somehow, which is an absolute lie. You know, you you don't, no God-fearing believer is ever going to ask you money to build mosques. Yeah. I mean, if we're a bunch of believers and we all come together and say, hey, we got to build a mosque, everybody puts their elbows
Whatever. Yeah.
as well as their wealth together to do it, not give it to the leader and then he takes it 90% to his mansion creation and 10% to the mosque and pretends that you've been purified because you gave money to the mosque. It's nonsense. Yeah, it absolutely is nonsense. I mean, there is a caveat to the fact that when there is bounty, 20% of that goes to God and the messenger or the messengers. But that is a corollary. The fundamental fact is the messenger cannot ask any kind of reward for delivering the message, and delivering the message includes the pulpit from where he delivers it. He can't ask you, hey, can you create this website and then advertise it for me so that I can deliver the message? Oh, he's going to hell if he does that. Yeah, if someone wants to take the message and deliver it by themselves, that's their business. The messenger ain't going to ask them to give him money to deliver the message of God. That would be absolute nonsense. I mean, the God who created everything needs you to pay his messenger to deliver the message. Yeah, okay, I'll bite. Anyway, so let's read these signs from 19 to around whatever, 28, 29. So here again, the Spirit is speaking to us, the Holy Spirit, the only Spirit, the only Holy Spirit, Gabriel, the highest messenger of God. So he says, he takes out the living from the dead, and he takes out the dead from the living. And he is God, obviously. And he gives life the earth after her death. And like that, you will be brought out. So he's giving you the example of what's going to happen. You know, he's the one who takes the living out from the dead, and he takes the dead out from the living, and he gives life the earth after her death. So, you know, if you destroy the whole earth, God can bring it back alive. So all this nonsense mongering that, oh, we're going to use nuclear weapons and it's going to be the end of humanity, well, that'd be a good thing, actually. But like, the earth will still be brought back alive even if you destroy her. And I can guarantee you that your damn weapons will only destroy you, not the earth. And you can't even destroy yourselves because the time hasn't come. So you will only destroy what, 80, 90, 98% of you? But the rest, you cannot destroy all of us because that's not the time for that to occur right now. So you can destroy most of us or yourselves, but you cannot destroy all of us right now. And like that, you will be brought out. So God's going to take you out like he does the living from the dead from the living, and gives life the earth after her death. Like he destroyed all of it with the flood, right? The earth was vanquished, and then he brought it back to life, brought her back to life. And from his signs that creates you from dust, then when you are conscious beings, you spread out. So in this earth, we are created from dust, our second creation, initiated from dust. Adam and his spouse at the beginning were created from the earth, the dust that is the earth. And then we are conscious beings. We spread out on the earth. Well, I mean, there's nothing more to explain here. These are from his signs. Look at us. How many of us are spread out? You know, it's like a anomaly. It's just a happenstance. It's what just happened out of nothing. That's what they tell you. And from his signs that creates you from yourselves, spouses, to your calmness to her, and makes between you love and mercy. Surely in that to be signs to people, they're thinking. So now, if you look at us, we are males and females. The spouses are the males to the females, and the females to the males. And God has put love and mercy between us, the males and the females. But we cover that up and bring out our knives against each other because we turn against God. So that's what happens. And to your calmness to her. So, like, her is the each spouse, so each one to her. And you can look at her as the soul. The soul is what you're connecting with more than the body, you know. And but her, you can say the female, male to the female, or female to the male, the same thing. So this is what it is saying. These are from his signs. I mean, this one line, you can think about it forever trying to figure out what's going on. But you can look on the earth. It happens. It's there. You know there is love and mercy between the males and the females. What have they done? They've destroyed that. And they've made that as some sort of a anomaly. And the righteousness is males to males and females to females, right?
No.
Again, all these things can be destroyed. The sign is that, and then you turn it over and make it into some abomination that you've created in your minds. And God creates that as well. It's like the good and the evil. We have to understand the same love can be used for good and for evil. And evil can be used for good and evil as well. So can good be used for evil and good. Right, or right and wrong, however you want to look at it. And from his signs created the heavens and the earth, and difference of your tongues and your colors. Surely in that to be signs to the knowledgeable. What kind of sign is in this? First of all, look at you can't see all the other earths, and you can't see all the other heavens either. You got to know they're out there because the book tells you. But just look at the heaven and the earth we live in. Is that not a sign to us? Oh, they say it's a sign of happenstance. It just came out of nothing. Nothing created everything. Sure. And difference of your tongues and your color. So he created us into different languages, people speaking different languages and different colors. These are all signs to the knowledgeable. Those who have knowledge, they will see these as signs of the creation. It just doesn't happen out of nothing. And from his signs, your sleep with the night and the day, and you're seeking from his grace. Surely in that to be signs to people, they're listening. So those are those who have knowledge. These are the ones, the signs to those who are listening. And all of them are knowledgeable and listening, they will see. So what, you sleep with the night and the day. We sleep in the day and the night. And we seek from his grace by whatever, searching the earth for bounties and everything else. Knowledge, wisdom. Don't we all do that? And then
Yes.
all nonsense, knowledge, and wretchedness as wisdom. And then we portray that on our beautiful screens and our newspapers and whatever media that we have. And we love and fall for that instead of the true grace of God, which is wisdom, knowledge of God and wisdom. Wisdom is a thing that cannot be quantified either. It's just there, just like trust. And from his signs, he shows you the lightning, fear and desire. Why is it fear and desire? Do you know?
Um, I mean, desire is that you hope that the rain is going to come, and fear for the lightning.
Exactly. I mean, fear that it strikes you and creates, destroys, and makes
Mm.
fire and burns down everything, and desire that it rains down and gives you water and waters your crops and your animals, and on and on. And he sends down from the heaven fluid, which is telling you what lightning precedes normally. But he gives life with it, the earth after her death. That's how he gives life the earth, by the fluid that comes down from the heaven. If that is not clear, then I cannot help you. Surely in that to be signs to people, they understanding, listening, understanding, knowledgeable. And from his signs that stands the heaven and the earth command. Remember this. He stands the heaven. It's not running, and the earth is standing. It's telling you it's standing, yeah? When you tell me that it's running somewhere or spinning out of control, then I call you liar because I believe this book to be the truth. And if you go against it, you're a liar. That's how it is. When you don't understand this book and utter lies and mold it and manipulate it and bend it to your desires, then you're wrong again. And that's what most people do. That's what they do with these books. They contort them into a form that they are absolutely not, while the whole underlying message is saying absolutely the opposite. They will make you believe the opposite of that, what it is saying. Then, when calls you are calling from the earth, when you will, you come out. So remember, when we are dead, he will call us from the earth, and we will come out running to him, to the caller. And to him those in the heavens and the earths, all to him devout. So everything is devout to him, whether they're hating him or loving him. They're devoted to God. I mean, this is like a kind of a metaphorical statement, but you have to understand everything is devout to God, i.e., they do as he has commanded them to do. The only thing that we need to understand is we choose to be the way we are devoted to God or devout to God. And of course, this is like the devout how? Hating or devout loving God? Devout rejecting God or devout accepting or submitting to God? Devout going against God or devout going with or be on the side of God? Which is it? They're all devout to God. Nothing can escape God. Everything belongs to God in the heavens and the earths. The six other heavens that you cannot see, the six other earths that you cannot see, and this earth and this heaven that you can see, all belongs to God. He is the owner. There are no other owners. As some people say, you have owners. You have own. Yeah, no, you have an owner. Nobody else owns anything. Everybody else is given control by God, and then He will take it away when He wishes. You will not stop Him, guaranteed. And He, the one, He initiates the creation, then He repeats it, and it lowly over Him. So it's nothing for God to do all of this. You can't create one living thing. Yeah. And look around you. You've created all of this, or it came out of nothing, as you tell us. All you moronic Satans out there that know. The Satans know the reality, by the way. It's the hypocrites and the rejectors who are not yet Satans. They haven't climbed up to the 90th level of whatever their secret society is that tells them that you're a Satan now. The 33rd level or degree of the Freemasons and the what is it, 322 Club and all this other nonsense. When you join these satanic entities, at the end of it, when you've crossed all the lines that you should not be crossing and you're over the hill, as to say, rolling down to hell, then they will tell you you're a Satan now and you're going to hell and God actually exists. What we were telling you about God were all lies and you followed them. Now you're with us, with the Satans. You better do what we tell you now. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. You're going to hell anyways. So then they do whatever because they know they're finished. They know the reality. And to him the examples, the high, in the heavens and the earths, and he the mighty, the wise. Strikes to you example from yourselves, are to you from what control your covenants, from partners in what we sustain you. God is asking you, are those that you control, yeah, are they partners to you in what, are they equal, or do they have share in your wealth, those that are under your control? Are they? No, they're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
But
Yeah.
you in it equal. So do you give everything you have to your you don't even give it to your partner, your spouse, let alone your servants or those you control? Are you equal? No, you're not. You would fear them like you fear yourselves. So now the rich and famous, they fear each other. Look at them. They're competing with each other, fearing who's going to be on top of the other today. Look at them, all of them, all the leaders, politicians, the CEOs, the clergy, your religious leaders, so called, they're all satanic pieces of garbage. Like that, we explain the signs of people, their understanding. Again, understand, listen, have the knowledge. Otherwise, you will not see what's going on. They want everybody to be equals, right? We're all
That,
equals. And they treat you as equals all the time, right? I mean, what
no,
kind of nonsense? Are you people completely devoid of any wisdom? That there is no equality? And they make you equal to make you absolute dotards, complete idiots, to abide by their laws and their constitution. We will fight for the constitution of X country. Yeah, put it in any US, UK, Canada. Canada doesn't have a constitution. India, Pakistan, Russia, whatever. They, oh, we will fight for this. This constitution has to be upheld. And I tell you, no, no, no. The books of God are the constitution. And I'll tell you the three that must be put on top of everything else, starting with the Quran today, and the Bible, and then the Torah. These three books are the constitution over mankind. No nation can supersede the constitution in these books. And you have done it. So look what's happening to you now, as it happened to those before you. The same stuff, the same nonsense is going to come to you, the same destruction, the same devastation, the same war of God that came to those before you. Keep doing it. I'm telling you, this is the truth. The Quran is the absolute truth. And all the nonsense they've created in the Torah and the Bible, which make them look like uh, despicable books because they've added their thoughts to them, the Quran takes away. The Quran has none of that they tell you. Look into the stuff they tell you that these books tell us to do. The Quran tells us none of that. The
Yeah.
Quran tells us to live amongst the rejectors. As long as they don't fight us in our way, we are not to fight them. As long as they don't take us out from our homes, we are not to fight them. Let them be. I mean, today there is no believing nation. So the believers have to live amongst the Satans and the satanic flock that follows them. Be like that. I mean, what? Moses was amongst believers when he was there, or Lot, or Abraham, or any of the others. No, they weren't. They were amongst rejectors. And then some of them turned to them, few, literally. It's always been the few. But the issue is the few eventually win in the end, or the one. In the case of Noah, few won, and the few of his family that was with him.
Yeah.
And then, but follow those who wrong their thoughts without knowledge. But who? He guides one, makes astray the God. No one. Okay? When God makes you or I astray, no one can guide us, and not to them from helpers. So I think we'll stop it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about God sending us fluid from the heaven, right? They also tell us that whatever water there is in the earth is there, like,
Yeah,
kind
right.
of, yeah, whatever is here, and that's about it. So, yeah, no, such profound signs as usual. And it explains to us everything that is around us, which, like you mentioned, that people believe in that, the theory that we came from some amoebas, and I don't know, they kind of evolved, and the evolution theory, which I really don't know much what they say, but it's all BS because the Quran tells us clearly how we were created, and that's
Yeah,
it.
but if you
And
can't prove that, and they prove to you there has been evolution through nonsensical fossils and every nonsense that they invent to show you how we got created from nothing, from these single cell organisms, then they became, I don't know what, then they became fish, then they crawled out of the water. I'm like, nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Of course, God can create anything from anything. He created us from sulfur in the first creation. He created us from dust here. He makes us into apes when he wants, and he has. And he made us, our ancestors, into pigs. So all that is there, obviously. It is obviously true that God can devolve you and evolve you into anything. But that isn't how we were created. So,
yeah,
there is a caveat that people will, well, the Quran says that God made you into pigs. So, obviously, there is evolution or devolution in that sense, right? And into apes. But He's never told us that He made apes into men or pigs into men. He hasn't told us that. So, we are a higher creation than these beings that are on the earth, the animals, the birds, and all. But if you look at it, we're the weakest. We were talking about it earlier today.
that's
We
good.
are the weakest beings on the earth. Look at them. They survive out there in the most harsh conditions. We can't spend 20 minutes out there
Yeah.
in the same conditions that these animals and birds survive. It's magical how they are, and we're the only being that needs to have clothes, right? And then we project our own stuff onto the animals by making them coats and socks, and they're like, what the hell are you doing to me? And then
Yeah, yeah,
you look at those animals like they can't walk. They've
yeah,
got jackets on them, they've got
yeah,
shoes on them.
yeah,
Yeah, how about all the others that are walking around the earth? Are they dying? Are the population of those animals just dying because they don't have shoes and socks and jackets because of the cold or whatever? It's
yeah,
nonsense. I mean, these
yeah,
people are so deluded that they just have to find a niche where they feel comfortable. And they made them love their dogs and their cats and all the other animals. They make them love, sure, love the things, but you treat them like your
yeah,
children. I
yeah,
mean, what the hell? I mean,
yeah,
God has put desire for animals in us. I'm exception. I don't give a damn about animals. I have really no regard for any animals, yeah, except that I can eat them. I love
yeah,
eating chickens and cows and all sorts of other critters in the ocean and the fish and the I love eating them. That's what God has created them for us to sustain ourselves from them. They tell you that the cow's milk is only for the calf.
Yeah.
How much milk is the cow going to drink? Do you know how much it produces every year? And then the cow actually produces milk like when she has a calf and when she doesn't. Unlike humans, the milk from the mother is for the child, and when it stops suckling, the milk stops. I mean,
Yes.
like, they don't think for 2 seconds what's going on, right?
No, I
They're
know.
totally
And
deluded. They're beyond help, as they
yeah.
say.
No, anyway, since you did bring up about food, so I do have to want to ask you that what is allowed to us to eat and what is forbidden, and there are so many misconceptions about this as well.
Yeah,
And
so I'm not going to go through the signs. People can read. There's like five, six
yeah,
different signs. I'll tell you from the gist of it. So basically, we cannot eat the dead, and that means cannibalism. Not when people say, "Oh, you can't eat dead meat."
yeah,
This is how they translated and
yeah,
told us. And then I was like, well, we're eating dead meat every day. I mean, we're not eating live chickens or live goats or sheep. We're eating dead. So nonsense. It says forbidden are the dead to you. Your like mom and pop and your
mom,
brothers
yeah,
and sisters. You
yeah,
cannot eat humans. They are forbidden to you. That's number one. The next one is blood. Blood is forbidden to us. Drinking blood, eating blood. Now people will say, "Oh, there's some blood left over in the meat."
meat,
Yeah, I mean that's residual. That's fine. When you kill an animal, you need to drain the blood, however you kill it, and the best way is to slit its throat to drain the blood. After that, that's it. And then people here, they love drinking blood. I mean, all these satanic cults, they have blood rituals left, right, and center. Just look into it. It's all over the internet today because the knowledge is all around us of what's actually going on. They eat human meat, flesh. They eat babies. It's all there. You know
yeah,
it. It's
yes,
happening,
yes,
and they kill their children to at the altar of God as if that is their way. I mean, this is all nonsense. So that's disallowed. The dead, which is cannibalism, is disallowed, and blood is disallowed. You cannot make fried cubes of blood and eat it or drink it. More so drinking blood, yeah. And then the meat of the pig is disallowed. That is abomination. Why, as I understand it, is because God made men into pigs. So it's kind of cannibalism. That is why I see it. People will say, then he made apes from men, so they should also be disallowed. The reason why that is not disallowed is that happened after the Torah. Nothing in the law has changed after the Torah. So no ape will be allowed to be disallowed in the Quran because the law was made before God made apes from men. So if you ask me, are you going to eat an ape? No, I won't. But I will never tell you it's disallowed. I will be wronging myself. I will be becoming God because I'm disallowing something God has not disallowed. Absolutely. So the only thing is meat of pig. That's the only thing that is disallowed from eating from animals, right? That's it. Everything else is allowed. And then there's caveats. Anything killed to other than God with it. So if you kill anything and you say this is to so and so, this is to my father, this is to my son, this is to my spouse, my wife, my husband, my children, whatever, that you cannot eat. People say you have to remember God's name when you're killing it. No, none of that is being said in the book. You have to remember God's name when you're eating whatever you're eating.
yeah,
So that's all you need to do. If it's
yeah,
killed to other than God, it's disallowed. And then there's raffling. You don't raffle food.
yeah,
You don't raffle food. That's rebelliousness. Yeah. And on top of that, there are some other caveats that if wild animals eat or the thing is bashed or speared, yeah, or suffocated, you the animal except what you clean from it. So if you can clean the meat out and without where the big arteries are not, you can still eat that. But that's a caveat, right? It's not like the absolute law. The absolute law are these 4 or 5 things:
yeah,
no cannibalism, no eating, drinking blood, no meat of pig, and nothing that is killed to other than God. That you
yeah,
cannot eat, and raffling. is not disallowed. You cannot raffle food like what Hunger Games are that they
Yeah.
talk about and they glorify on their goddamn TV screens and movies. That the Hunger Games are what we're all about. Sure, sure. I'll show you what Hunger Games are when you're burning in hell, and you ask for us to send you some fluid and sustenance that God sustains, and we will say, God forbids them both over there. Now you burn in hell and eat shit because that's what they're going to be eating in hell, shit
Yeah. Yeah.
and boiling fluid which will completely scald their innards, and then they will be recreated and made to eat that again and again forever, and we will laugh over them there just
Yeah.
like we laugh over them here. Just the thing is, here they're on top, there we will be on top, but we will still be laughing over
Mhm.
here and there, while they laugh over us here because we're not as followed or as high in the earth or revered by people and all that nonsense, while they are, well, yeah, see how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. So, so anyone who forbids other than what is clearly what you explained and what is written in the Quran, they are doing wrong.
They are partnering with God. They're going to hell.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
rejecting God. All
Yeah.
these things that they say, the split feet are disallowed. Anything that eats meat is disallowed.
Yeah.
The
I was
birds
going
of
to.
prey are
Yeah.
disallowed, and these birds are allowed. And this, you shut up.
So
And the,
all.
and the animals. I mean, the fish of the sea. Some of them are hated. They call it makruh. Hated.
Yes.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Nothing else. Alcohol is not disallowed. Drugs are not disallowed. Gambling is not disallowed. Just don't gamble with food. Yeah, gambling with food raffling is disallowed because you are supposed to feed everyone that you can.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be fed on the earth. That is our primary objective on the earth as humans, as men, as mankind, to make sure everybody has food and water. If we are
Yeah.
righteous, but we're not, we will
No.
starve people to death. We will kill them because we don't like them. Yeah. And then they say only you can only help the believers and orphans of the believers can be fed, not the shut up. If there's somebody who needs food and water and I can provide it, I will bloody well provide it. I don't care if he's a rejecter or a believer or whatever else. Of course, if I have the choice and there's believers and rejectors and I can only feed the believers, I will of course only feed the believers before I feed the rejectors. Obviously, that's like anybody. When you're going to feed your family first before you feed your relatives, right, or your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
No. Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about this, but you already mentioned it that they say that, like, there's nothing mentioned about birds, but they have still put in that you cannot eat birds of prey, you cannot eat scavenger, you cannot eat, I don't know, things with talons. I had to ask one of our daughters that what that actually means because I didn't know. And also about the sea. I mean, all the food of the sea is allowed to us. And they, I don't know, I did read that they say that the fish that have scales that are allowed,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the shellfish is forbidden and hated, and some people allow it, some people don't allow it. And then they also say that the only dead thing that is allowed to us is dead fish. And I'm like, what?
what are you talking about?
I mean, I go,
Do we eat living animals? What is
no,
wrong with these
no.
people?
Yeah,
They're
yeah, no,
completely
I'm,
deluded. They have no understanding.
yeah.
And this is the same thing that was done to the so-called Jews after Moses. When they rebelled, God forbade them the fat and the mixed what is it on the tails and the back, except what was mixed in, and the
With,
split feet animals. They were forbidden that by God because they rebelled, not because it was forbidden in the Torah. After the Torah, when they rebelled against God, God made the Sabbath on them. God put all these what do you call it, strictnesses that
restrictions.
you cannot eat all these other animals, and the only animals are the ones that are hooved for them. Yeah, we've adopted that nonsense. We say, oh, see, it was forbidden to them because they rebelled, morons, not because it was forbidden. God will forbid over you what you are allowed when you rebel against God. So now look at the so-called Muslims who are not Muslims. They're all kafirs and mushriks, i.e. rejectors and partnering, who are rejectors and hypocrites. What has been forbidden over them? Everything. Women are forbidden. You can't talk to women. especially the ones that you can marry. You cannot talk to them. You
Yeah.
can only have a conversation with a woman that you cannot marry. That's going to work out well. That makes sense, right? Because, I don't want to talk to the woman that I'm going to marry. I don't want to know her, but I do want to know the women that I can't marry. Yeah, I think that's how it works. I mean, like that. No, no, don't worry. Your parents will choose the right bride for you because they know the best for you. They know the woman that you will like. You don't understand, and you cannot talk to her till you're married. You cannot even look at her. I mean, especially in the last 4 or 5 days before marriage. The fifth day before marriage, you can see her, but now, since there's only 4 days left, you cannot even look upon her because it's a bad omen. What a bunch of nonsense, man.
Yeah.
These people
They
are full of garbage in their minds. They're all of them. The Jews and the Muslims are the worst, by the way.
Mhm.
Absolutely. They're the same. Like I tell you, the so called Muslims, which I call them Muslims with a heavy heart because they've taken the word of God, Muslim, and made a monstrous lie out of it, right? And the Jews, well, they've done it already, and they don't use Muslims. They hate the Muslims, and I wonder why. Because the so-called Muslims today are hateable. They are detestable what they're doing. Their laws, the way they have destroyed this book, will only come back to haunt them like they have no idea. But if they read the Quran, they'll have an idea. Oh, but they don't read the Quran, so they
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah. No, everything that they talk about, they always add so many stories of God knows who people around those things to explain that this is why this is and that is why that is. And I'm like, man, read the book of God. It's so profound. It explains everything. And anyway, I also did want you to mention for those who don't know about honey, that what
Mhm.
God says about honey.
Okay, well, honey is the only cleanser God has told us in this world for us, the bodies that we have. That is the only clear cleanser in the seen world that God has created for us, the bees. He inspires. So I'll bring up that sign. Let me bring that sign up. Yeah. Chapter 6. Do you know the sign? 16 something. Chapter
Six,
16.
1668.
Okay. So let's go to 1668. So here, and inspires your Lord to the bee. That. So to every bee, he inspires this. The female bee, by the way, because the bee is female. The word bee and it's inspiring to the female bee. Take from the mountains homes and from the trees and from what they enthrone. So all your beehives is what we enthrone, right? It wasn't like we invented it. God invented the beehive. We figured it out. We figured it out. No, he gave it to the originals and then we've just copied them. Then eat from all the fruits. This is to the bee. Each one, every single bee, he inspires this. But slither paths of your Lord humbly. There is the humble bumblebee comes from, yeah? Humbly. It comes out from their stomachs, a drink, different its colors, in it cleansing to the mankind. Surely in that to be signed to people, to be assigned to people, they thinking. So what is all the fruits they're eating, all the plants? Where do you make all the medicine from all the plants? Okay,
Yes.
you make nonsensical medicine. You make medicine that attacks one particular aspect of your body's functioning that is apparently not functioning, while destroys 10 others that you don't know about, right? The bee takes all of these fruits and different fruits and then makes it into a fluid that we drink, the honey, and it's different colors from different plants. And some of them are more potent, some aren't, depending on the thickness and the density of the honey. And when you drink it, it cleanses you. Period. That's the only cleansing substance God has spoken about in the Quran clearly from the scene, right? From the scene. Of course, he mentions all the other fruits and everything, but as far as cleansing to the mankind, only this, which is called honey. It is not even called honey here, by the way. It just says a fluid comes out or drink yeah, from their stomachs. So you know that the bee regurgitates or vomits the honey out from her stomach. You know that, right? Honey is vomit of bees. Now people are not going to have honey anymore.
No.
But that's the fact. You have to understand how God works. Yeah. I mean, there's no one only way that things are supposed to be. No, oh, you can't eat vomit. Well, the vomit of the bee is actually what cleanses us from all our ailments in this world. I mean, it will obviously not stop death, but when you are sick, you take honey. And if you keep taking honey, it's most likely you will almost never be sick. You will just decay and die in the end, which nothing can prevent and nothing will prevent. And you can try whatever nonsense you want, but it will not stop your death. It's just not going to happen. Your death cannot be stopped. Your ailments can be cleansed. And of course, God does not need the honey to cleanse us. God creates us, right? He didn't create us from honey.
No.
It's just that He's told us He's created honey for our cleansing. So have honey as much as you want. And it will never do any harm to your sugar levels and all the other thing that you do with your damn refined sugar. It does no harm. I sometimes I have, like, I don't know, 20 teaspoons in a day, and nothing happens to me from the honey. Nothing. It doesn't affect me in the least. If I had 20 teaspoons of sugar, I'd probably like have a blown artery in my brain or
Yeah.
some other spasm that I'll probably be lying on the floor for 3 days after.
No,
Honey
and
does
that,
not.
yeah, and exactly. And I can vouch for that too, that if I have some sugary treat before bed, I have difficulty sleeping, and I eat honey before I go to sleep, and no problem.
Yep,
I
honey
sleep
is
peacefully.
absolute cleanser to mankind, of course, to our bodies. Yeah, it
Yes, yeah,
cannot
of
cleanse
course.
your soul. For that, you have to turn to God and this
Yeah.
book and us, the messengers. Unless you do that and follow all of us and obey us, yeah, that soul's going to be in frenzy for the rest of your life till you die, which you don't want, because
Mhm.
death is an anathema to mankind. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the antithesis of your creation that want to die. And it's true as well. Nobody really wants to die. I mean, if you ask me, do you want to go through death? No, I just want to go to the other side without dying, which is possible as well. I mean, it's not impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, I do have another question, and that's about fasting. That what does God tell us about fasting in the Quran? And what about the month of Ramadan and fasting in it? And also, yeah, and
Okay,
also I was going to say, and what if somebody is unable to fast? Yeah,
okay, let's go to, I think it's 200 and something sign number. What
I'll
is it?
tell you. 184. 183, sorry.
Okay, so 183 is where it says, so there's the fasting, when to fast and how to fast is only described in one place in the Quran, and they made a freaking religion out of it. Yeah, fasting.
Yeah.
Fasting is just what God has prescribed to us, like what He prescribed those before us in the Torah and the Injil, the Bible. So let's read what this says. O you, those who believe, written over you the fasts, like what written over those from before you. Maybe you fear. That's it. That's all the fasting is for. It's written over us like it was before us. And obviously, before the Torah, it was also probably written over those before them as well. Yeah. The time of Abraham and all, they probably had some fasting uh, written over them as well. I'm pretty sure. But here it's telling us before us are the Jews and the Christians. They have fasting written in the Torah and the Injil. Maybe you fear. They have invented, God only knows what nonsense about fasting, that this is for forgiveness, this is for remembrance, this is for I don't know what, three, four, five things that they have said in the month of Ramadan. Total nonsense. The only reason fasting has been written over us, maybe we fear, or maybe you fear. That's what the Spirit is telling us. So what are we going to fear when we're fasting? Duh. Maybe the hunger and the thirst. I don't know. Maybe not, huh? I mean, obviously, fools, It is to fear thirst and hunger and thirst, so that you realize your uh, God given right that you think you have to have food every day is really not God given right to everyone on the earth. For some reason, I wonder what that reason is, because you're too busy making your goddamn treasures and empires, and you forget about feeding everyone else that are poor and suffering. Oh, he's good enough. He's got 2 hands and 2 feet. Why should I help him if he doesn't have any food? Okay, I'll ask you that when you're on the other side of that equation, fools. So it is for fearing what hunger and thirst feels like. It doesn't feel good, by the way. So what does it say? Days counted. So there are days which counted, we'll find out. But one who is from you sick or over travels, but turn from days other. So he's telling you, do not fast when you're traveling and when you're sick. You know that you're sick, nobody has to tell you, okay? And you know when you're traveling, nobody has to tell you that either. That's it. Other than that, fast. And over those, they established it, freeing, feeding poor. So it's telling you what it's all about, right? Those that don't have food, feed them, and for you to make you fear. I mean, these two sentences explain everything.
Yep.
People don't understand how profound and deep and complete this Quran is in every way, shape, and form. It's that they've created all nonsense, all sorts of nonsense outside of it that destroys the actual meaning, which is simple, which is commonsensical. Any idiot would know that, right? Oh, but these idiots don't. So one who obeys better, but it better to him, and that you fast better to you if you were you knowing. So it's better that you fast for whatever reason. Don't make up your, you can make up anything. It could be for any reason that you can come up with that makes sense, but it's better to fast. But if you can feed poor and you cannot complete those days, yeah. Now people say the next sentence that comes is overturns this. My father even told me that. Nonsense. The guy was a liar. My father is probably burning in hell. He's dead. Yeah. And I don't know 100%, but till I knew him, he was going to hell. And I did not speak to him in the last 8, 9 years. And I don't believe that he would be able to overcome his headlong surge into hell, just like my mother. She's going to hell. My 3 brothers, they're going to hell. I had doing make no qualms out of it. My sister, my daughter, she's going to hell, one of them. Yeah. We know who that one is. So anyway, month of Ramadan, the one sent down in it the Quran. So understand, the Quran came down in 1 month. Okay, did not start. People, oh, it started in the month of Ramadan. Really? Where does it say that here? Month of Ramadan, the one sent down in it the Quran, i.e., the Quran came down in that 1 month, fools, guidance to the mankind and clarities from the guidance and the law. So all of it came down in that month, the month of Ramadan. That is not the reason why you fast there. God just chose that month and sent down the Quran. And the month of Ramadan is the first of the 4 forbidden months. The forbidden months are those that you cannot hunt prey, land prey. Like all the animals of the land are forbidden from hunting. You cannot go after them and kill them in those 4 months. Yeah. And you're not supposed to wrong yourselves in those, i.e., don't war unless you are fought against. The only reason you can fight is if someone fights you in those 4 months. You cannot initiate fight in those or continue fighting in those 4 months. You must stop. But if your enemy keeps fighting, then obviously you're not going to sit around, right? So one who witnesses from you the month, but let him fast it. So it's the month of Ramadan, one lunar cycle. That's it. Whichever one you choose to be Ramadan, that's the only month mentioned in the book by name, is the month of Ramadan. The others are the 4 forbidden months, Ashhurul Hurum, or the months, the forbidden, right? The 4 forbidden months. They're not named, they're just 4 forbidden months. The first one is Ramadan. They will argue me, no, no, it's not bad. It's shut up. Okay. Ramadan is the first forbidden month, and the 3 following Ramadan. They are the 4 forbidden months where you cannot kill land prey. It is to sustain the earth in a balance. So the animals do not vanish because we overhunt them. and one who is sick or over travels, but term from days other. So now, since it says here terms from day other, and it says one established cannot do that because here it doesn't say that, nonsense. This sign doesn't overturn what's up here. Term other is what? Freeing, feeding poor, or fasting, either of those two. If you cannot fast, then feed the poor. That's it. If you're sick and old, then why are you going to fast? Feed the poor if you can. And if you can't feed the poor and you can't fast, then ask forgiveness of God. You're already dying at 70. If you haven't fasted in your young days, then what's the point of fasting now? You're already going to hell. I mean, if you've passed beyond like 60 or 50 or 40, whatever God chooses, and you ain't turning back, fasting is not going to fix you now. You've already crossed over the hell side. You're not coming back. So all these things are made to make us fear that, oh, if I don't fast, I'm going to hell. No, no, no. If you don't fast at all because you're a coward, you cannot take fasting, you are of weak constitution, then God knows you, right? And you can ask, my Lord, I can't fast. I'm just going to feed poor. Forgive me. He may forgive you. He may. He may try you for that. He may punish you here, but he ain't going to put you in hell for just not fasting. That's not going to happen. Yeah, the fasting may save you from the hellfire by blotting out some of the evils that you do. You may do that. Absolutely. But not fasting and telling people because you don't fast, you're going to hell is an absolute bloody, bald faced lie. He wants the God with you the ease, and not he wants with you the difficulty. And to your completing the term, and to your grandifying the God over what guides you. And maybe you thank. So this is what fasting is all about. You fast that 1 month, the one cycle, and so which month is Ramadan? The one you choose when you start counting. Oh, but it has to be the same 12. Or really, you think you have the cycles all the way back to 1500 years ago and 2000 years ago? Have you not looked into your own history books how you change the calendars every few hundred years? Yeah, you change the months every few years. Yeah, you add a day, you subtract a day, you follow a different calendar. You have numbers with like 6 different numbers going on right now of the count of years in the earth, at least.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
right.
there are official. Maybe there are 500 other unofficial numbering
Yeah.
systems that we don't know about. So shut up all of this nonsense. Yeah, you just if you've lost time, all your dates have been lost when the when the destruction comes. You won't find any calendar left on the earth. So when you wake up from that destruction and you say, "Oh, what day is it?" Right, it's day one of wherever you are, and if it is in the first of the lunar cycle, wait till the next first lunar cycle and start counting. That's it. And then count the circles of the sun similarly. The circles of the sun are 365 and a quarter odd day. That's how long the sun takes to make a full circuit, the full cycle of the sun. That is the solar year. The lunar year is categorized in the Quran as 12 months. 12 months or 12 cycles of the moon is one lunar year. And the full circuit of the sun is a solar year. There is no other these January and bloody December, November, all this nonsense. There's none of that shit. You can make 12 out of them as well, but you keep adding and subtracting. Like every 4 years, you have to add a day in February.
That's
That's a
right.
perfect solar cycle you're telling me. I wonder how that works, right? It's not perfect to their liking. So they will do all sorts of nonsense to make you believe the garbage that they have taught you about the solar system and the spinning earth and the revolving sun and all the other garbage they have told you. The earth is stationary. The earth does not move until we bomb it or the earthquakes occur. Other than that, it does not move. It is static. And the stuff all above us, the stars and the sun and the moon, they are rotating. They are moving. And the heaven is also standing right above us. Although God does tell us it is expanding, and the expansion is a sign of how it's going to break in the end, right? I mean, it has a limit, And when that occurs, the heaven will break. And then you will see that, oh, it was a right. You'll see it
Okay.
that day. And you'll say, oh, right, right. I believe now. Sure. Sure, you're going to believe now.
Going to the fasting, one more question I have. People argue a lot about this, about what is a fast? Like, when do we start and when do we end it? And if you can talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at where, I mean, the next sign, right? I mean, I got to
Yeah.
go there. Let's bring that up as well. So here in the middle, God says, and when ask you my servants over me, but surely I close. I answer call of the caller when calls me. But let them strive answering to me, and let them believe with me. Maybe they be conscientious. So be cognizant of this. He answers the call of the caller. And he will tell you no when he doesn't want you to give it. Don't think if you don't get your call that God hasn't answered you, fools. You're not gods. God is God. And if you ask him something and it doesn't come to you, then no, the answer is no, you fools. When people say, oh, I asked God and he didn't answer to me, I didn't get what I wanted. Really, is that how it works? When you go to your father and you tell him, hey, can I have some money to go out and have a burger, and he doesn't give it to you, he's not answered you. What a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
So now, allow to you nights of the fasts, the relations to your women. So that tells you that you can have relations, your sexual relations with your women during the night of the fast. They clothing to you and you clothing to them. Knows the God surely you are, you betraying your souls. So he knows you're doing this stuff during the day while the fast is on, so don't. But turns over you and passes over you. So now inform them and seek what rights the God to you, and eat and drink till it clear to you the sliver, the bright from the sliver, the dark from the dawn. So this is till when you're supposed to eat, okay? Till you can tell the light from the dark, and you can go into this as much as you want from the dawn, which sliver dark, which sliver bright. When the light just begins, or when the sun comes up with the bright sun that you can see. I don't know. You decide. I mean, the best answer is probably that when the light appears in the sky, when the darkness of the sky becomes light or bluish, that's when you start the fast. But you can argue this till end of the earth, and no one's going to win this. Then complete the fast to the night, and don't you be informing them and you walking around in the mosques. These limits of the God, but don't you near them. Like that he clarified, the God, his signs to the mankind. Maybe they fear. So now, what is it saying here? So the sliver bright from the sliver dark of the dawn. What is the dawn? The dawn is when the light comes till the sun rises. That is the dawn, right? If you look at the word dawn, it's not just that when the light starts coming, it is when it starts coming till the sun comes up, till you see the sliver of the sun over the horizon. So, which bright and which dark is this talking about? You can argue. I can say that it's the brightness of the sky when the light starts coming. Or I can say it's the sliver of the sun that is bright from the dark, which is without the sun, obviously. When the sun comes up, it's obviously way brighter the moment you see the sun coming up over the horizon than it is before that, obviously. Of course, the difference is marginal, just like the difference at the beginning. It's still dark, but you can see a little bit of light at the beginning, correct? So you can
That's
say, oh,
correct.
it's dark, it's not bright. Argue till you die. I don't care. Do what you want. So now, how does this work over the 60th parallel and the 60th south parallel? How is that going to work when it's light all night during those 3 months and dark all night during the 3 months on the other side, and the Ramadan falls in those days? Well, how's that going to work? No answer, because it's left to your understanding here. Complete the fast to the night. They say when the sun sets. When the sun sets, it's not night. Night is when the darkness comes over you, which happens hours after the sun goes, like an hour and a half, sometimes 3 hours, depending where you are. So it's a telling you the fast during the day, okay? Whatever your day is. Night is after you eat. You eat in the night meal, right? Depending where you are, the sun could go down at 3 p.m. or the sun could go down at 11 p.m. What? You're supposed to now fast till 11 from 2 in the morning and you kill yourselves? Have you lost your minds? Yeah, if you want to do that, sure. You can fast for 10 days if you can. People can. People can survive for 3 4 days without eating and drinking. Yeah, they probably die. But like this is basically a indication of when to start in the morning, yeah, before the sun rises or when the light comes in the sky, and to the night. What is the night? Define the night. The night is when you sleep, right? And in some places it's bright all night, depending on the time of the year that you are talking about. So basically, I mean, at least 12 hours, I would say, half the cycle, right?
Day.
Half the day, 12 hours, fast 12 hours, and that'd be fine, you know. Or you can follow this sun and rising and setting. In most places, it's around 12 to 13, 11 to 13 hours, right? In the Cancer and Capricorn regions, it's pretty much 12, 13 hours, right? 14 hours max. So do that, or at least 12 hours, fast 12 hours, and that should be fine, as far as I see it. Yeah. I mean, there's no clear indication of when to start here. Yeah. And certainly not when to end it. To the night. What is the night? Don't tell me sunset is night, because it isn't.
Yeah.
It is not night. Sunset is sunset. It is not night. We call it evening, by the way, ourselves. We don't call it night. What is the night? When you sleep, okay? The night is half the day, and the other is half day is day of all the day, what we call the whole cycle. And that's why when Muhammad is told to, or the messenger is told to read during the night, half of it or a third of it, right? Or less. So a third of it would be 4 hours. So you sleep at least 8 hours, right? A third of it is four, yeah? Four, threes are 12, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you read a third, it's 4 hours. If you read six, you still sleep 6 hours, and most people can survive on 6 hours. So, it's all coded in this Quran, everything. But you have to understand, instead of the nonsense that they've told us out in the world, which is full of garbage and invented stuff that has nothing to do with reality. So, anyway, I think we're now
Yeah.
done.
I
So,
kind of exhausted all your time. I hope you didn't have too many questions
no,
over
they were
there.
none. Don't worry.
Oh,
All right, till next
okay.
Saturday.
Thank you very much for clarifying
Yeah.
all
Okay
the
then.
questions.